What is going on, everybody? It is Handles, and recently the Indiana Pacers blew a 26-point lead in Game 3 of the first round, and I thought it was the perfect time to go over the 5 biggest comebacks in NBA playoff history. I'm not talking about where a team ends up coming back to win the series, but I'm talking about when a team is being dominant in a single game but just ends up choking and blowing the huge lead. Anyways, here are the 5 biggest NBA playoff comebacks in history. In the 2012 Western Conference Semifinals in Game 3 of the LA Lakers vs San Antonio Spurs, the Spurs were down big. They were down by 24 points early in the second quarter, but Pop and the Spurs were having none of that. And being down 24 was exactly the turning point. The Spurs regrouped later in the second quarter and cut the lead in half, and then exploded in the third, and they just went on an insane 24-0 run and took the lead and ended up pulling away for a 96-86 victory against the Clippers in Game 3, giving them a commanding 3-0 series lead. At number 4 was the 2002 Eastern Conference Finals in Game 3 of the Boston Celtics versus the New Jersey Nets. The Nets were just dominating the entire game, and by the start of the fourth quarter, they were up 21 points, but earlier in the game, they were up by 26. But being up 21 in the start of the fourth, I mean, everyone would suspect that the lead is pretty safe, but no, Boston didn't want to go down 2-1 in the series, and then they just went on a tear. They overcame the 21-point deficit in the fourth by outscoring the Nets 41-16 in the final period, and Paul Pierce ended up scoring 19 in the fourth alone, and Boston won this game 94-90, and this marked the NBA playoff record for the biggest comeback in the fourth quarter. But sadly, Boston did end up losing the series. And at number 3 is none other than the Cleveland vs Indiana Game 3 of the 2017 NBA playoffs. Cleveland set an NBA postseason record by erasing a 25-point halftime deficit to beat the Indiana Pacers 119-114. The Cleveland Cavaliers trailed by 26 at some point in the first half and was still down 74-49 at halftime. The largest halftime deficit overcome to win an NBA playoff game had previously been 21 points by Baltimore against Philadelphia in 1948. And after this loss, I'd say the Pacers were just so demoralized, and they ended up being swept after Paul George proceeded to have the worst postseason game in this series in the very next game. And at number 2 was the 2012 Western Conference first round between the Los Angeles Clippers and the Memphis Grizzlies. At one point in this game, the Clippers trailed by 27 points, and at the beginning of the fourth quarter, they were down 85-64, a 21-point deficit to start the fourth. And the Clippers didn't want to go down 1-0 to the Grizzlies and went on a 26-1 run to win the game by only 1 point in the end. Nick Young scored 3 threes in this run, which sparked the amazing comeback, and the Clippers took this game 99-98. And this comeback matched the biggest fourth quarter comeback in playoff history, with the other one being the game I previously mentioned, the 2002 series between the Celtics and the Nets. And finally, the biggest NBA playoff comeback in history was the 1989 Western Conference Semifinals in Game 4 between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Seattle Supersonics. The Sonics were just destroying the Lakers in this game. They didn't want to be swept after being down 3-0 in the series. And at some point in the second quarter, the Lakers were down by 29 points. But the Lakers were a powerhouse at this time, with a big 3 of James Worthy, Magic Johnson, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, so you can never count them out. And after being down by almost 30 points at halftime, they rallied back and ended up winning the game 97-95 after James Worthy scored 12 of his 33 points in the fourth quarter. Anyways guys, those are the 5 biggest NBA playoff comebacks in history. It just goes to show, even in the playoffs, you can never count anybody out at any time. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Till next time, I'm Handles, and I'm out.